Hi, 703. This is a very quick study guide on a couple of the problems that you're going to see on Friday on your unit test 2. First thing that you need to know is this simple equation y equals k times x. It is a direct variation, which really means that y varies directly with x, and it varies by k amount. Okay, that sounds funny, so let's put some numbers to it. You'll see a couple of these graphs. The graphs look like this. You'll see some point floating out there in space. It's not labeled except maybe point Z. So point Z, if I don't know where it is, I simply draw my line down to my x. 1, 2, 3. So my x is 4. And then I'm going to draw my line across, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4 as well, coincidentally. So my point Z is 4, 4. X and Y are 4. If I'm looking for my constant of variation, I'm simply going to say, well, Y equals 4 and X equals 4. So what does K have to be equal to for those two things to be equal to each other? K is going to have to equal 1. And I could have found that by dividing both sides by 4. K equals 4 over 4, or again 1. In every case, to find my constant of proportionality, I'm going to divide my y over my x. It works every time. You might also be able to find any point along the line. Remember that this constant of proportionality has to go through the origin, or 0, 0. So when you're looking for some other point, look at a point that is directly on the grid. And in this case, another potential point on that grid is 3, 3. Another point could be 2, 2, or any point along that line. Okay, that pretty much does it for constant of proportionality and that relationship. You're going to see a couple of things on unit rates. And in our unit rate calculation, always remember that if A over B equals C over D, I know that my cross products are also equal. AD has to equal BC. So let's try a rate problem. I know that if I can run 3/4 of 1 mile in 20 minutes, I want to know how much I could run in 60 minutes. So I set up my proportion, and it actually doesn't matter which way you set them up, just as long as you're consistent. So if my rate is 3/4 of a mile and my time is 20, I would set up my first ratio like that, my rate to my time, and I'm going to set that equal to how far can I run in 60 minutes. So I put my 60 there, and I'm looking for x. In order to find x, I'm going to cross multiply, and I get 20x equals 3/4 times 60. So that is the mechanical way of doing this. If I work this out, I'll find that 20x equals 180 divided by 4. To get rid of my 4, multiply both sides. 80x equals 180. To find my x, I would divide now both sides by 80. And I could use my calculator to reason out what my x would be, or how far I would travel in 60 minutes. The intuitive way of looking at this is just say, well, in 3/4 of an hour, I run for 20 minutes. 20 minutes is 1/3 of 90, so I could take my 3/4 and just multiply it 3 times, because 20 is proportional to 60 by 3. So I would get 9/4, which is going to be the same answer. It's just more intuitive than the mechanical way. Either way will work. The final problem that I would like to work on is basically what happens when you have a situation where you are spending money at a constant rate. Let's say, for example, if I take 10 cab rides and I am charged $3 per cab ride, I can say, well, the rate of each cab ride is $3.33, which is highly unlikely. But I can also then say, like, well, my rate is going to be proportional. So no matter how many rides I take, let's say I take 100 rides, I would know that my constant of proportionality, what would be my, the cost proportionality is still going to be 3.33. So I know that if I divide 100 by 3.33, I'm going to get the number of rides that I actually get for $100. So 100 times, or divided by 3.33, is going to give me my rate. The most important thing is when you're finding these rates that each one is going to be exactly the same. If you're finding a list of things and you have to choose which one has a constant of proportionality, and you say, for example, I have 2 pairs for $4, and then I have 4 pairs for $8, and I have 6 pairs for $12. I can simply divide 4 by 2, I get 2, 8 by 4, I get 2, 12 by 6, I get 2, and that's my constant of proportionality is equal to 2. If I have 3 apples for 10, and I have 5 apples for 15, I can automatically see that that is not a constant of proportionality. This particular is 10 divided by 3 is 3.33, 15 divided by 5 is 3, and so automatically just that small difference is going to mean that my apples and my oranges are not compatible. So I would only choose the box where my K is consistent for each one of my answer choices. And the last one that I'm going to work on, it just reminds you how to find an average. So for example, I'm sorry, not averages, we'll do that in class. If I'm looking at the costs, let's say that I have bananas, and my bananas cost 25 cents per pound. And if I buy 4 pounds, 4 times 0.25, that's going to equal $1, which is what I spend when I check out of my grocery store. But let's say I want to make an equation out of this. My overall cost is going to equal to 0.25, which is the price, but strangely it's multiplied by my P, and in this case my P stands for pounds, not price. So the pounds times the cost of the pound gives me the cost, or basically what I spend as I walk out the door. Good luck, and if this is confusing in any way, please raise your hand, and I will come and see you soon.